Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy, and it is time for Tackle My TBR. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to new subscribers. Appreciate all of you and your support of my channel. So it is time to talk about what I read last week. The first book that I finished was Holes by Louis Sachar. Is that how you say his name? This is part of the big read, the top 100 voted books, which I will have a video later in the week covering that. But I'm sure everybody has read this book by now. I watched the movie years and years ago, but I never actually picked the book up. So I decided, since it was on the list, I was going to read it. And it's a pretty decent read. I gave it 3.5 stars, I believe. And we're following Stanley, who believes he's cursed by his great grandfather. And then he feels like this curse is just following him around. Well, he has to go to this place, this correctional place, institute for boys. And he goes there, and he didn't really commit the crime. But he goes there, and what they have to do is dig holes. And there's very specific rules and, you know, the depth, the width, the height, and all that stuff. And he's digging his holes, and of course he's the last one. And he's just down on his luck, and, you know, this stuff is happening to him. And he's digging away. He finally finishes, but over time, you know, he starts to build up some discipline, and he gets some stamina, and he becomes a completely different person because he was sent to this place. That's all I'm going to say about the story. Like I said, everybody probably knows about it. There may be a couple of people that don't, so I'm not going to say anything else about what happens in the story. But it was a decent read. It is definitely worth it. It started out pretty slow, but it did pick up. I mean, it was still interesting, so I definitely feel like it's worth the read if you've not read this book. The next book that I read and finished last week was I Am Death by Chris Carter. This is book number 7 in the Robert Hunter thriller series. And yes, you guys, I enjoyed this one just as much. This one was a little more sporadic, I think, with the serial killer. I don't feel like he stayed on an MO. He didn't have things specifically done. The only thing that was specific was that he did not leave behind any kind of evidence for Robert to be able to follow and, you know, catch him. He had to do a lot of thinking, and it was a little surprising. I had some ideas, but it was a little surprising with, you know, who it was, and anyway, it was a little surprising. So it was very, very good, and I don't want to give anything away in any of these books. I just, you know, I want everybody to read Chris Carter because his writing is just phenomenal. But yeah, this was another great one by Chris Carter. Then I picked up a third book, did not finish it yet, and that is The Secret Garden, also on the big read list of top 100 voted books. Again, never read it. I have not even watched the movie. And my daughter says, "You've not read that book, Mom?" No, I've not read the book. I'm having a really hard time with this one, though, because the font is absolutely tiny. It's a little book. There's only 212 pages. I'm not sure where I got this from. I'm pretty sure I got it from Recycled Books in Denton. But I don't like the book at all. There's no copyright information. It goes right into the story. And I looked it up using the barcode, and this one was published in originally published in 1911. I don't remember when this actual one was published, but it was originally wrote by Frances Hodgson Burnett in 1911. And, yeah. Anyway, in this book we are following Mary, who is brought up in a well-to-do family. They've got, she lives over in India. They've got maids and maid servants and, you know, people to look after her. They dress her, feed her, all this kind of stuff. So she's feeling a little privileged. And then a bout of cholera, is that how you say that? I don't know how you say that. Disease hits. And the whole place where she lives, they all just die. Nobody bothers to come checking on her during this pandemic, or epidemic, whatever what you would call that one. But she was just holed up in the nursery, or what they called a nursery. She was 10. And nobody bothered to come check on her, and she couldn't understand why nobody cared enough to do that. And then, you know, she would hear people running back and forth and a whole bunch of stuff going on, and nobody would ever come in. And then everything quieted down, so she's like, oh, I guess everybody got better, and instead, everybody died. She was sent off to her uncle, who is in London, or England, and she has to start to learn to appreciate different things now. And that's pretty much the story. That's all I'm going to tell you. Of course, she happens upon a secret garden. But I'm really enjoying the story. I had to get it on my Kindle because I can't read the really fine print in here. So, on the parts that I did read, you know, I've got a lot of stuff marked and everything, but it really is an enjoyable story so far. And I'll probably finish this up within the next couple days. I've been doing a lot of crafting, so we'll see when I get back to that. But that is what I read last week, guys. What have you read last week? Have you read any of these books that I talked about today? Let me know down in the comments. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.